Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone is having a great day today. In today's video, first I want to show you guys what I'm doing. I'm drinking something very naughty. I am drinking a ginger lime Diet Coke with my Beauty Heroes Use Less, Love More straw. So the glass straw, so I'm really careful with this when I put it in, but I wanted to try the new Diet Coke ginger lime. I have the other ones inside. Yes, I know they're not the greatest, but I don't have too many vices. My only vices are coffee, tea, water, and I think this is the first soda I've had since getting these guys, so I'm actually enjoying this sitting out here on a hot, humid day. Don't laugh at us because we are wimpy when it comes to the heat. When it comes to the winter, we're good to go. But that's not what this video is about. You guys can see that I'm sitting outside in my lovely little yard. And today what I wanted to talk about is, I wanted to talk about my experiences with my endocrinologist. But I'm going to give a little backstory first. So I was misdiagnosed type 2 diabetes in March of 2008. So it's been over 10 years, but I had been pre-diabetic for at least 8 years before that, so I don't know what happened, why I was misdiagnosed, but I did find some old notes in my original doctor who started me on that path. Testing my glucose was, in the range of being pre-diabetic since 2000, and what happened was I found a note that was in there that was passed over to, I don't know how the record ended up in there, because that particular office is now part of an entire health network. It ended up in there as a small note, and it said that there is a suspicion of type 1 diabetes. Well, why I was never tested, I don't know. He just said to me, you're type 2, you're overweight, so they were just going to go with it that way. But I was told then I didn't need an endocrinologist. So for years, I never had an endocrinologist. My first time going to an endocrinologist was actually last year in 2017. So it was my first time going to an endo. Go figure that one out. Because all my doctors said, no, my PCP said, you don't need an endo. You can just keep checking it. You're type 2, don't worry about it. So I went to this particular endocrinologist. She's part of a practice that I am basically not really with. The only other doctor that's with that practice now is my rheumatologist. I haven't seen her in a while, but she's okay. They're not the greatest, but they're not the worst. So with this endocrinologist, she is extremely arrogant. And when I say arrogant, I mean arrogant to the point of screaming at you. Last September, what had happened was I said to her, my numbers are okay. And then I expressed an interest in possibility of an insulin pump because I had been on multiple daily shots for about over 4 years. It was like four and a half years. And I said, it's a struggle because I'm constantly having to stick myself and then I have to test myself. But because I was type 2 and on insulin, I was only allowed up to 4 test strips a day prescribed, but I'm getting off track here. So what happened with her was that I made a decision to contact Omnipod myself and Dexcom myself without her permission or input. She didn't want to hear about it. I had brought it up in an office visit, and she didn't want to discuss it. She said, you don't need that. It's your diet. It's your diet. It's your diet. Stop it. Stop it. You're eating too much. You're getting too fat. You're eating too much. And I'm like, oh, okay. Isn't that a nice thing to say to somebody? You're telling me this, and I'm trying to talk to you. Well, she was furious when my C-peptides came back and showed that I was type 1 diabetic. She didn't know what to say. She hung her head in shame and said, yeah, I can see that the C-peptides are showing you make no insulin. Okay, so why are you screaming at me like I'm an animal of some sort? And I had a bad taste with her since. Well, fast forward with her to December of last year. December of last year, my insurance changed. So, it's not my fault. I had to change my insurance. It was either keep my doctors and lose my insurance and get a different insurance, or lose my doctors and keep that insurance. So I had to weigh my options. So I had to keep the doctors and lose that other insurance and get a different one, which was fine. So we had, to work on getting my pods, my Omnipod approved, and it was a mess. She was really upset with me for even going to Dexcom. And then she would constantly get nasty to me about my A1C, it's midline. It was starting to climb again. And I was really under a lot of stress. Every time I would see her, I would get stressed out and angry, and I just didn't want to be there, and all I ever got was an attitude. And I'm going to go back a little bit again. When I first got the Omnipods, the people from Omnipod come to meet you at the doctor's office so they can, they put a demo pod on so they can show you what the pod is like. It's not a real pod, but it, you wear it for a few days, you see if you like it. And then she called me 3 days later and asked me, did I like it? I said, I love it. It's easy. It's low profile for me. It's not like a tube pump. I was expecting it to not really work, and it just blended in. And that representative from Omnipod had multiple run-ins with my endocrinologist. So now I'm going to fast forward to last month, June. Well, my visit with her was miserable because the previous visit I had seen her in May. What happened was there was an accident on the highway and I was going to end up being late. Well, her assistant, I told her, don't cancel my appointment. I'm like literally 5 minutes out. And then she said, well, I'm going to cancel anyway. I said, no, the doctor said that she made this appointment specifically, and she also said, no, I don't really care. I said, Tona, if you cancel that appointment, I will show up and I will start rolling around on the floor. And she didn't cancel it, and I showed up, and then I got an attitude from the doctor. Well, you should have been early anyway. We need to look at your Dexcom, and we need to look at your Omnipod, your PDM to check. So why are you checking the PDM? You don't need to check the PDM. You only need to check the Dexcom. So she had taken the Dexcom, the receiver, and I said, just take the PDM. I don't care. Take the PDM, whatever. So fast forward to last month. Last month's visit was the visit from hell, because after all the nonsense, dealing with them on the phone, they never call back. I've left multiple messages telling them that my Dexcom, the transmitter, I ran out. The battery dies every 3 months. Anybody that has a Dex knows this. And I said specifically just the transmitters I am out of. I have plenty of sensors. I have no problem with that. And I said that I'm not out of anything else, or Omnipods, those are fine. The visit, she said, well, you made the impression that you were out of everything. So I said, no, I said that I was out of transmitters. You only get 2, and it's for 6 months. Each transmitter lasts 3 months. So if I start a transmitter, let's say on the 5th of this month, it wouldn't expire until the 5th of October. That's the way it would be. And she got real nasty to me, and she said to me, well, we need to see all this stuff in your PDM as well as your Dexcom. I said, well, I have the information on the Dexcom. I don't use the receiver anymore. I have it on the app and the phone. And she screams at me, well, Medicare won't like that. I said, I don't have Medicare. I'm not old enough for Medicare, and I'm not disabled for 2 years to get Medicare, okay? And I don't get SSI or anything. Oh, well, like that, really nasty. And I was just like, okay. My husband was there the whole time, so he can back it up and verify. So the problem was they couldn't get the information from the Dexcom app. I'm going to pretend this is my phone that I had. I'm going to pretend. This is my old phone, by the way, if you guys have watched any of my previous videos. So I'm in here. I'm trying to remember my password. And she comes over to me, and she went to grab the phone out of my hand. I said, excuse me, I don't remember my password. Leave. You're getting me annoyed, and you're getting me upset, and I'll remember it faster if you leave me alone. She walks out of the room. Her assistant comes in. Do you have it yet? Do you have it yet? Do you have it yet? Like, oh my God. Like, I just told you I don't have it yet. It took me about 15 minutes because I had forgotten my password, because I had had it set up, but what happened was I didn't normally log in, so I logged in. I had to get the clarity for her and all that other nonsense, and then she got really nasty with me. She said, we work as a team, not including me, the patient. Okay, so I was like, your team, you and your nurse and your assistant and your other assistant, who, by the way, her other assistant stole our medical information, had it in her car for everybody to see. She took it home and she shared my information with everybody. So that was a whole other thing. That is HIPAA violation galore, and I complained about that and nothing was done about it. So I said, fine, you know what? I said, I don't have to respect you anymore. I have no respect for you. I have no respect for your staff. Today, after I made a call to them yesterday, left a message, and they gave me the extension to call, to give them, to call if I need anything, right? We don't check that phone line. We never check the phone line. You call the main line. You shouldn't be calling our extension. And I'm like, she gave me the number to call. You're not supposed to call. That's her assistant, same assistant. Okay, so you gave me the number, you don't check the phone, and you don't call. We never get messages on there. Okay. I said, whatever. I said, all I want to do is get a new glucose meter because the one I have is old. I need a new one. It's over 4 years old, right? Yeah, we never got that message from you. I said, yeah, because you didn't listen to it. So she got really upset about it. She said, well, we never check messages on that phone. We never check those phones. It's like, so why do you have an extension if you don't check? Ugh. And I'm like, you know what? I'm done with this endo. I mean, this is my first endocrinologist that I've ever seen, and she's this way. I mean, I know I'm a little bit not clear because it's a whole lot, but anybody who has ever had a negative interaction with an endocrinologist or any doctor with any staff that are not exactly the most pleasant, you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. You don't have to be diabetic. I mean, it was just crazy with her. So what I have done is, from now until I have my new endocrinologist, which I thought I was seeing her next month. I see her in September, which isn't bad, 2 months from now. My current PCP is going to be taking care of my diabetic needs from today until September. So yeah, guys, I just wanted to share my negative interaction, my first ever endocrinologist, and it turns out like this. But I'm not the only one that had interactions with her. A lot of people have. They've left quite a few negative reviews about her. Stay away from her. She's arrogant. She doesn't want to listen. And then one person said, well, she's great, she's wonderful, she goes over everything and she tells you exactly what to do. I'm like, okay, if you're a new diabetic and you don't know what's going on in your life and you have no clue how to handle diabetes and you need a guiding hand at first, that I can understand. But if you're experienced like I am, I'm going on now technically 18 years, so I was in my 30s when I was technically, should have been diagnosed type 1. Then, it's something that we don't always need a hand. We know our bodies really, really well, and we know exactly what we're going to react to and not react to. And yeah, guys, so I thought I would share that, my negative interaction with my first endocrinologist. The endocrinologist that I'm going to came with a recommendation from one of the Omnipod representatives in this area, and she said she is wonderful, she's easy to work with, she's pleasant, she will listen, and if you have any ideas about your care, she'll listen to those too, because you need to have input, and the team should always include the patient. They are to work for the patient. They can keep the patient healthy. So if you guys have had any negative experiences with your doctors, let me know in the comments down below, because I'd really like to know. Or if you have really positive experiences that you would like to share about your doctors, please let me know in the comments down below. I've only had to fire 2 doctors in my entire life. I've never been one of those patients that thought that they were better than the doctor. I always believe that, we're supposed to work as a team. So yeah, guys, take care and I will see you all in the next video. Okay, guys? Bye.